Breaking on 4 News Now at 6, a teen in custody for a drive-by shooting in Moses Lake that killed a 14-year-old, where investigators say the suspect was found.
Soak up the record-breaking warmth while it lasts. Thunderstorms are on the way. That's why tomorrow is a weather alert day. I'll show you when the storms could arrive in your first alert forecast.
And drivers in Spokane County are putting kids at risk by passing stopped school buses. Why some may be confused about the rules and the hefty fine you could face if you're caught. You're watching 4 News Now at 6.
We start with some breaking news. Moses Lake police say a 14-year-old is in custody for a shooting that killed a 14-year-old and hurt 4 others. Thank you for being with us tonight. I'm Kirsten O'Connor.
And I'm Derek Dice. The suspect is accused of shooting another 14-year-old, Mario Emiscua Santoyo, in the head on Friday. Investigators say they found the suspect at Catholic Hospital in Richland. They say he was there seeking treatment for a self-inflicted gunshot wound investigators believed happened during Friday's shooting. The suspect now faces first-degree murder charges.
Drivers continue to blow past these stop signs in Liberty Lake and Spokane Valley, breaking the law and putting our kids in danger. And if you're caught doing that, it'll cost you hundreds.
The Central Valley School District says it's seen an uptick in this reckless behavior, so Liberty Lake police are upping patrols for this type of violation. Hunter Bertram is live on Country Vista Drive in Liberty Lake, a hot spot for this behavior. Hunter.
Yeah, Derek, we're just down the street from Ridgeline High School, where these 4 busy lanes of traffic often see drivers ignore those school bus stop signs, and it's becoming more frequent, police say.
I think people are, sometimes in a hurry or not just paying attention, going with the flow of traffic. Lots of excuses we hear.
The Central Valley School District says this has happened 59 times this school year. Drivers refusing to stop or going around school buses with flashing lights, a warning that kids are walking nearby.
It is a violation. It's a serious violation that's endangering our children.
Blow past one of these stop signs, you're not just putting kids in danger, but also risking a hefty fine.
It's a $478 ticket that the driver could get. It cannot be waived, cannot be reduced, cannot be suspended. It's in the law.
So why are we seeing this happening more? The school district believes this uptick is partially because drivers don't know if they need to stop.
So we're seeing most of our violations are on multi-lane roadways, and so I think that's part of it. Is there maybe some confusion about, do I need to stop in this other lane?
And really, the only time we learn about these rules is in driver's ed. Many of us took in high school. It's no excuse if you get pulled over or hurt someone.
Take a minute, right? Familiarize yourself with the law and what it is.
The school district says its bus drivers are on extra alert to ensure student safety given this recent uptick. And here's a refresher from the Liberty Lake Police on when you can pass a bus. A good rule: if you're heading the same direction as the bus and their stop sign goes out, go ahead and stop. And you can find that refresher and more on KXLY.com. Live in Liberty Lake, I'm Hunter Bertram, 4 News Now.
All right, Hunter, thank you. We hope you enjoyed our record-breaking warm weather because it's going to be even warmer tomorrow.
Let's send it over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker with your first alert forecast.
That is right. We have another very warm day on the way. Beautiful evening right now in progress. We have these high clouds that are going to make for a gorgeous sunset in a little more than an hour. And our temperatures today, it was 70 in Spokane. That is 1 degree short of our record of 71, 69 in Coeur d'Alene, 71 in Pullman. Now that 79 in Lewiston is a record. The previous record 76. 76 today in Ritzville and 73 in Moses Lake. We are going to be even warmer tomorrow, including 83 in Lewiston. A lot of 70s on the map, and even the places staying in the 60s. It is going to be warm, including 67 in Sandpoint, 68 in Spirit Lake, right around the Spokane area. Look at all the 70s, and that 74 in Spokane will be a new record. Our previous record, 67, set back in 19 49. However, the end of the day brings with it a little bit of concern for strong or severe thunderstorms over the entire inland Northwest. Between 6 p.m. and 1 a.m., it is a weather alert day because of that risk of thunderstorms. I'll be back to explain the threat and the timing in greater detail in just a few minutes. Derek?
All right, Chris, thank you. A new scam alert now from the Pullman Police Department. Investigators say they've received several reports of scammers calling athletes at WSU and their families, pretending to be members of the police department and the NCAA. The scammers are telling parents of these athletes their child was arrested and are demanding money to keep the athlete's name out of the press. Police say you shouldn't give them any of your personal information, and if you're wondering if you're actually getting a call from police, you should contact them directly.
2 Spokane County Sheriff's deputies will not face any charges for a 2021 shooting that left a man dead. In December of that year, the deputies tracked down 43-year-old Michael Dingman, who had a warrant out for his arrest. When they confronted Dingman, investigators say he pointed a rifle at the deputies. He was told to drop his weapon, but he refused, and that is when both deputies shot him. The prosecutor's office says Dingman's rifles were not loaded at the time. A toxicology report showed Dingman tested positive for meth and ethanol at the time of his death.
Well, you could soon pay a little bit more for gas in Washington, with Democrats in the state Senate considering increasing the gas tax. The plan includes a 6-cent increase to the existing gas tax. But it's not just gas. The plan also increases the electrical vehicle fee from $225 to $275. Hybrid owners would have to pay a $100 fee. If the plan is approved, the fees would go into effect this summer. These additional fees are meant to help close the state's budget deficit. And this is just one of the ways Democratic lawmakers plan on funding the government over the next few years. We'll have more on their plan and why some think the plan goes too far coming up tonight at 6:30. A new lifeline is in the works for families dealing with contamination from PFAS, a toxic chemical found in the wells in and around Fairchild Air Force Base.
Right now, Eastern Washington researchers are mapping the flow of these chemicals, finding out where safe water runs and where filtration is needed to clean the toxic water. Our Alexandra Cohen shows us how the project is helping identify those at risk.
Issues like this make you realize how important water is.
PFAS, nicknamed the forever chemical, has contaminated hundreds of homes in the West Plains, affecting thousands of lives. The toxic contaminant was first reported by the Washington Department of Ecology in 2017, revealing chemicals from firefighting foam had infected the aquifer in Airway Heights.
It's kind of crazy to think about. I mean, such a vital resource that we have is we don't know much about it.
Geoscience professor Chad Pritchard and his students are working to change that. With a $450,000 grant, they are analyzing how groundwater moves, collecting well data, taking samples over the course of a year, and tracking where PFAS is spreading.
This project goes way over what people have done in the past.
The funding for this project covers both the cost of testing public wells and private wells like this one. The research that students found here today is put towards creating 3D water flow maps of this area.
This project will develop a whole groundwater model, and we'll know where groundwater is, more or less, which direction contaminants should go.
With that data, the project hopes to be able to place water filtration systems where needed.
And hopefully free to them. It takes time, though. It's the government.
Until that money is secured, the hope is to continue educating the West Plains community on this life-threatening contaminant that for many has been in their water for decades. For the students, seeing this unfold firsthand has been eye-opening.
Being able to help them, come and test their water for them, I think has been, it's a really rewarding experience.
Pritchard says the findings from this project will be combined with EPA data, set to be released in June. Reporting from Spokane, Alexandra Cohen, 4 News Now.
Well, the man tapped to lead the Social Security Administration was grilled on Capitol Hill today.
We'll show you what he had to say about potential cuts coming up.
It was a shock to have to say, oh, we have to go to different buildings now.
Teachers and students in Moses Lake are still settling into new classrooms after electrical issues closed their school for the rest of the year. How lessons learned during the pandemic made this transition a little easier.
And this is Hattie, the newest member of Spokane County Sheriff's Office's K-9 unit. We'll show you how she'll help deputies catch child sex offenders next on 4 News Now.
Download the KXLY Plus app on your connected TV.
Hey, good morning, America. Good morning, America. Good morning, America. So you want somewhere to play? We got you. And want some tasty food? We got you. Heard you want to do some shopping? We got you. The live music is always popping at the Coeur d'Alene Casino. Coeur d'Alene Casino. Where winning is just the beginning.
Hurricane Helene was devastating. Now, 6 months later, GMA is right there in Asheville, North Carolina, coming back strong. Robin, Ginger, Sam, Asheville Rising. Thursday morning, the live event on Good Morning America.
Hi, Alton Brown here at the top secret facility where we're building my farewell tour, Alton Brown Live Last Bite. Now, like all of our culinary variety shows, there will be comedy, music, science, and an epic yet potentially dangerous culinary demonstration. Hi, 911. It's me again.
March 26th at First Interstate Center for the Arts. Tickets on sale now at BroadwaySpokane.com.
The Silverado Trail Boss. And a little work. And a little play. And a truck that says no to nothing. And Chevrolet.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Well-qualified buyers get 2.9% APR for 72 months on this Silverado.
See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
The Working Families Tax Credit isn't just for families. Individuals and couples can apply too. See if you or your family are eligible for this tax refund at workingfamiliescredit.wad.gov/eligibility.
Look who it is. Back to mommy you go.
Jake, this isn't our dog.
No one?
You never got new glasses, did you?
Well, you didn't know Stanton Optical makes eye care easy.
Exactly. Sorry, you
nervous?
One pair of glasses plus a free eye exam for $59. Stanton Optical. Easy's our thing.
At the Coeur d'Alene Casino, we love the sound and excitement of winning. So much so that we've paid out over $73 million in 2024. That's a lot of woohoos. That's music to our ears.
Winning is just the beginning.
Seek. Well, you're looking at the newest member of the canine unit for the Spokane County Sheriff's Office. Unlike other dogs whose job it is to detect bombs, drugs, or even people, this dog will be looking for something much smaller.
Something you may not realize has a smell, but can hold information about crimes that prey on kids. Madeline Mullins shows us how she's doing this important work.
Cell phones, SD cards, cameras, these are things you may use every day. They're also things that can contain evidence of child pornography and exploitation. And that is why Hattie, the sheriff's office newest dog, is trained to sniff them out.
Seek, show me. Hey, show me. Good girl, that's a good girl. They would hide them up in chandeliers. They would tape them to the backside of blinds and curtains, things like that, where obviously we wouldn't know. It's not someplace that law enforcement typically looks, but the dog still would go around, sniff around, jump up in the air to indicate that something was there.
All of these devices are covered in a chemical to prevent them from overheating. You and I would not be able to smell it, but Hattie, that is what she is trained to find.
And now with her having in our department at our disposal, I think our odds of finding those devices and being able to get justice for all those victims will definitely go up.
Hattie will be a part of the Sheriff's Office Sexual Assault Unit and Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, searching for evidence in a suspect's home that officers may miss.
There has definitely been times where we've gone out on search warrants and we're looking for those storage devices. We do what we can, we do our best, and then sometime after the search warrant's done, we get an opportunity to interview the suspect, and they tell us about a hidden location that we had no idea about.
And not only will she be out on the scene looking for these devices, as a trained therapy dog, she will also be there to comfort the victims, specifically children.
She'll also assist us with talking with children. If we have to bring children in here and do interviews with them, also puts the children at ease.
Hattie is the first dog of her kind in Spokane County and the 5th dog in the state trained to sniff out these devices. The Sheriff's Office says she will be able to assist agencies across eastern Washington and northern Idaho with catching those responsible for these crimes. In Spokane, I'm Madeline Mullins, 4 News Now.
Your Wednesday planner, it is going to be a warm day. High temperature of 74, record-breaking warmth. 51 is our average high. Dry until we get into the evening. I'll go over our chance of showers and thunderstorms and what you can expect after the break.
Trump's nominee to lead the Social Security Administration in the hot seat today for his confirmation hearing. I'm Rena Roy, and I'll have the latest coming up.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by the Satay Bistro.
At Just Between Friends, you'll find everything you need for your family. It's all here.
I've been shopping in JBF since my kids were little, and we just love it.
Is the one-stop shop for everything that you need for your kids and your grandkids.
I'm a first-time mom. I got a lot of clothing, shoes, I got a changing table. It's been a lot of fun.
Such a blessing to be able to shop, sell, and save at JBF. This has been a game changer for our family.
Just Between Friends at the Spokane Fair and Expo Center.
Do you really think you can fix this? You should have just called Andy's.
I can fix it. It's just a little...
We're freezing. You should have called Andy's. Yeah, they have a 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Should have called Andy's.
Don't be like this guy. Call Andy's Heating and Cooling. So when the weather does this, your family does this. Go to andysheating.com for details on the 100% satisfaction guarantee. Carrier, turn to the experts.
And now a joke from Yolk's Fresh Market. What's a basketball player's favorite cheese? Swiss.
Style or substance. Somehow, it became one or the other. But there is another choice. Not stopping until you have everything in the GMC Sierra. Get 0.9% APR on 2025 Sierra 1500 models. Plus, no monthly payments for 90 days.
See your local GMC dealer.
The Hoodie Project donates 1,500 hoodies each year, inspiring kids to see college as a real possibility.
By donating $100 for every Eastern touchdown and hosting Numerica's Tailgate for a Cause, Numerica proudly raised $10,000 for the EWU Hoodie Project last season.
These hoodies are more than a sweatshirt. They're a symbol of opportunity and that higher education is within reach.
This is how Numerica cares for kids.
Some breaking news just into the newsroom. Law enforcement issued an Amber Alert for this young girl, 8-year-old Lariah Kinsey. Investigators say she was abducted in Spokane Valley on East 4th Street, a few blocks west of South Thierman Road. Police are looking for the white van that you can see on the bottom right side of your screen. Kinsey is said to be wearing tan jeans and a white shirt with Jesus in cursive. If you see her, call 911.
All right, let's send it over to Chris Crocker now with a look at that first alert forecast.
Well, it is a warm evening across the inland northwest. 69 right now in Spokane. A real pretty sky there. The combination of some high clouds, jet contrails, 67 and clear in Coeur d'Alene. 4 things to know about your weather. We have record highs on the way for Wednesday. Late on Wednesday, the potential for some thunderstorms, strong or severe. And then there's more storms on Thursday, but those look more like your garden variety thunderstorms. Tomorrow we have the potential for some severe thunderstorms. The best chance is going to be on the other side of the Cascades, a swath all the way from the Puget Sound area down through a big portion of western Oregon. That is in the likely category. Around the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area, points to the north and down through the Palouse, it is possible that we could see some severe weather. This is from the Severe Storms Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma. The biggest threat with these storms, damaging winds and large hail up to an inch in diameter possible around that area shaded in brown on your screen. Here's our chance of large hail, again considered an inch or larger. And We're only in the 5% chance, so it is not a very good chance. Odds definitely increase in that area where we have a better chance of severe weather. It's up to a 15% chance. But if we do see these thunderstorms, keep that in mind. One thing working in our favor is the timing of these storms. It is going to be after sunset, and that's going to take a lot of the steam out of these storms' sails. 8 o'clock tomorrow evening, we start to see those thunderstorms working their way into the Columbia Basin, possibly even into the Spokane area. More likely, it's going to be closer to 10 o'clock. And then we start to see those storms moving off to the north, and we begin drying out across the region. Not entirely, still some scattered showers as we go through Thursday morning. Here's our lightning activity tracker showing the potential for some isolated thunderstorms, 10 o'clock moving into the northeast mountains. And then by the time we're into midnight, most of that thunderstorm activity should be long over. All of this weather brought to you by a very strong upper level trough off the coast. We do continue to have a chance of thunderstorms on Thursday, possibly even into Friday. Saturday and Sunday, mostly dry for the weekend. And you'll notice a big drop in our temperatures, well, a 20-degree drop between Wednesday and Saturday, keeping at least a slight chance of precipitation in our forecast every day through the 7-day outlook, Derek.
All right, Chris, thank you. Today, the man who's been tapped to lead the Social Security Agency was grilled on Capitol Hill.
Some are concerned the Trump administration may get rid of the agency or greatly cut it down. ABC's Rena Roy explains how President Trump's pick tried to distance himself from those actions.
Democrats pressed Frank Bisignano on potential plans to shrink the administration, but Republicans are hoping revamping the agency will help make benefits more accessible for Americans. Social Security Commissioner nominee Frank Bisignano in the hot seat on Capitol Hill, getting grilled by senators in his confirmation hearing. Bisignano, a veteran Wall Street executive and GOP donor, tapped by President Trump to lead the administration, which delivers $1.5 trillion every year to more than 70 million Americans. Democrats questioning the future of the agency, with the Trump administration designating field offices for closure and the firing of staffers.
When you have a system that is not working now, do you think it's a great idea to lay off half of the employees?
I don't know if, do I think it's a great idea to lay off half of the employees when a system doesn't work? I think the answer is probably no.
Bisignano appeared to distance himself from actions taken to shrink the agency, denying ever speaking with the SSA acting commissioner, who last week threatened to shut down the agency after a federal judge blocked DOJ officials from accessing databases. Bisignano also denying that he has thought about privatizing the agency.
It's not a word that anybody's ever talked to me about, and I don't see this institution as anything other than a government agency that gets run for the benefit of the American public.
On DOJ's activities overall, though, Bisignano saying this:
I'm happy to work with anybody who can help us.
Democrats also challenging Bisignano on Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick's comments on a podcast last week that his mother-in-law wouldn't care about missing a payment, and only people committing fraud complain about services.
His implication is if you're questioning whether you got your check or not, you're probably a fraudster. Would you agree with that?
It'd be hard to get to that conclusion.
Musk and others have claimed fraud is rampant at the agency, but according to a report from the agency's inspector general, less than 1% of payments between 2015 and 2022 were improper, and most of them were overpayments. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Washington state Republicans warn the Democrats' budget plan could hurt businesses and families.
The key issue is keeping them from reaching a compromise coming up. And Senate Democrats grilled the Trump administration officials after a national security mishap. The Secretary of Defense's response to claims he leaked top secret evidence. And we take a look at the app at the center of it all next on 4 News Now.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
It's Truck Month.
Truck Month. The F-150 has 1.9% financing.
And $4,500 in savings.
The F-150 has been America's best-selling truck for 48 years. The best trucks sell first. Wendell Ford at the Y on North Division.
When it comes to getting what's fair for your auto accident, the scales of justice can be a bit unbalanced.
Insurance companies are big, and they know it. They'll delay payment and deny valid claims.
Hoping you'll give up and take a low-ball offer.
So how do you get what's fair?
Call Russell and Hill.
We've handled thousands of injury cases and have the resources to make the insurance company pay up.
Injured and getting big-timed by the insurance company?
Call 800-LAW-0842.
Hot tubs, hot tubs, hot tubs. The Hot Tub Swim Spa Expo is at all 4 Pool World locations this weekend only. Hundreds of hot tubs from the world's leading brands like Hot Spring Hot Tubs, all discounted. Hot tubs as low as $79 a month. 0% financing, save thousands. Swim spas up to $10,000 off. Above ground pools as low as $56 a month. Saunas as low as $79 a month. Hot tubs, swim spas, above ground pools, and saunas up to 30% off. This weekend at all 4 Pool World locations. HotTubExpoSpokane.com.
The Book of Mormon is the best musical of this century. The 9-time Tony Award winner is genius, brilliant, phenomenal. The Book of Mormon is the funniest musical of all time. It's the gold standard for comedy that goes further than any other comedy in history. You won't believe how funny it is. You won't believe how much heart it has. And when it's over, you won't believe how much you'll want to see it again. The Book of Mormon, this Tuesday through Saturday at First Interstate Center for the Arts. Tickets at BroadwaySpokane.com.
Then what about the moment when you actually realize that you're not here by accident? That there is a God that really loves you so much that sent his son on a rescue mission for you.
This is something special.
We're going to do this.
On the other side of temporary pain, you meet your other self.
God is setting you up to be blown away.
It's Truck Month.
Truck Month. The F-150 has 1.9% financing.
And $4,500 in savings.
The F-150 has been America's best-selling truck for 48 years. The best trucks sell first. Wendell Ford at the Y on North Division.
4 News Now is brought to you by STCU, here for good.
If this was the case of a military officer or an intelligence officer and they had this kind of behavior, they would be fired.
Senior members of the Trump administration are scrambling to figure out how a journalist from The Atlantic was added to a group chat with government officials that discussed U.S. plans for an attack in Yemen.
The chat included the top U.S. security officials, including Secretary of State Pete Hegseth. He's said to have shared classified details of an impending attack in Yemen. It's a claim he denies.
Nobody was texting war plans.
That's a lie. He was texting war plans. He was texting attack plans when targets were going to be targeted.
I believe there was discussion around targets in general.
Now, these messages were all shared on an app called Signal.
And it's not uncommon for government officials to use it when it comes to non-classified information. But this leak raises serious questions about what's being shared there. CNN's Karen Kafa gives us a look at how the app works.
Sharp questions from Senate Intelligence Committee Democrats Tuesday for members of the Trump administration intelligence team.
Director Radcliffe, this was a huge mistake, correct?
No. The hearing the day after The Atlantic reported that National Security Advisor Mike Waltz convened a text conversation with top U.S. officials earlier this month to discuss strikes on Houthi militants in Yemen. Atlantic editor-in-chief Jeffrey Goldberg was accidentally added to the chain, which used the app Signal.
People who care about security, they use Signal. What it does is it encodes the message that you're sending in transit. So if it happened to be intercepted by someone who shouldn't have it, it would be scrambled and useless to them.
Signal is an encrypted messaging app used by journalists and government officials around the world because of its added security. And its code, open for independent experts to scrutinize for vulnerabilities. Use of Signal is not unique to the Trump White House. The Biden administration routinely used it to discuss logistics planning, for example. Career national security officials note having sensitive conversations on an unclassified platform risks exposing the information to foreign hackers. Bree Fowler, who covers cybersecurity for CNET, says despite the app's high security standards, the government should look at whether the threshold is high enough for national security conversations.
You know, using something that is more for consumers and industry may not be what they should be doing. You would think the government would have some kind of proprietary app that they would use instead.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
A woman in Western Washington could soon be deported after being arrested at SeaTac Airport. Why her lawyer says she was arrested despite living in the U.S. legally for decades.
And students at Groff Elementary in Moses Lake are back in the classroom, but not at their own school. How the district is handling the chaos after electrical issues shut down the school, and why the adjustment may be tougher on teachers than students.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Your home is more than a place, it's a feeling, a reflection of who you are. And at the Tin Roof, we believe furniture should do more than fill a room. It should inspire it. From timeless dining tables to sofas you can sink into and decor that tells your story, every piece is thoughtfully curated to make your space feel effortlessly you. Because it's not just furniture, it's where memories are made, where comfort lives, and where life happens. It's more than furniture, it's a feeling.
What can we make for you today from the Sweet Palace in Phillipsburg, Montana?
Where does confidence come from? It's not from within. It must be pursued. Confidence is not a mindset. It's an achievement. In the GMC Sierra HD AT4X. Get 5.9% APR for 84 months on Sierra heavy-duty Denali models. That's over $5,300 in average finance savings.
My name is Paul Daglin. I've been with Granite Concepts for coming on 19 years now. From the beginning, it's all about customer satisfaction and quality because we want you to be happy. Technology has changed the game of what we can do. If you can do it with wood, you basically can have it done in stone. At Granite Concepts, we want you to feel at home.
Hi, Alton Brown here at the top secret facility where we're building my farewell tour, Alton Brown Live Last Bite. Now, like all of our culinary variety shows, there will be comedy, music, science, and an epic yet potentially dangerous culinary demonstration. Hi, 911. It's me again.
March 26th at First Interstate Center for the Arts. Tickets on sale now at BroadwaySpokane.com.
Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
Well, over 400 elementary students in Moses Lake are getting used to new schools and new classrooms.
Yeah, the Moses Lake School District shut down Groff Elementary for the year because of electrical issues in the building. Derek Strom talked with Groff teachers and the principal about the transition.
They're still with their same class, their same students, their same teachers.
The 425 Groff Elementary students have been through a lot of changes this year. Their school was closed for the year because of electrical problems, and they spent 2 weeks doing remote learning because of it. The Moses Lake School District says its goal was always to get each kid back in a classroom, but that's become many different classrooms in different schools.
But everyone in our district, all the directors came together and we came up with a plan together. We looked at where did we have space and where could we put 425 kids outside of our school. So it was chaotic.
Now the Groff students are back here learning in person at schools like Lakeview Elementary and here at Longview Elementary, where teachers say students are happy to be back learning in person, but it's the teachers that might have had the most difficult time adjusting to this new system.
It was a little bit of a shock. We were used to doing the online stuff every once in a while, but
that it was a shock to have to say, oh, we have to go to different buildings now.
Physical education teacher Logan Brown has to rotate between a few different buildings to continue teaching all of the kids from Groff. Almost every grade is in a different school, but keeping each grade together was very important for the district.
And this school is beautiful. I'm just really grateful that we have such a beautiful alternative to Groff. But yeah, they think it's really cool being in the high school. I don't know, they feel like they've got extra privileges, even though they really don't.
The district says Groff Elementary will stay closed through the end of the school year, but there's no timeline for when it will open again. The district says it needs time to fix any electrical problems with the building and make sure it's safe for students again. In Moses Lake, Derek Strom, 4 News Now.
Well, get ready for another warm day tomorrow. It could be record-breaking.
Yeah, let's send it over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker to see how long this trend will last, Chris.
Oh, about 24 more hours, and then we're going to see some big changes. But today, our high was 70 degrees, 71. Our record. Missed it by 1 back in 1960. Tomorrow, the forecast high 74. 67 is the record high. We should have no trouble breaking that record, and that was set back in 1949. The concern, however, is that we do have a cold front arriving right behind that record high temperature, bringing strong to severe thunderstorms, the possibility of strong to severe thunderstorms across the entire inland Northwest. The chance of that is between 6 o'clock in the evening and 1 o'clock in the morning on Thursday, give or take. And that is why we have a 4 News Now First Alert Weather Alert Day. Here's a look at the thunderstorm forecast for tomorrow. That area is shaded in brown. That includes Spokane all the way down to Boise and Medford up to Yakima. That is in the area where there's a possibility for severe thunderstorms. That area in orange that goes from just south of Eugene up through Seattle, that is where severe thunderstorms are likely, and the main culprit will be large hail. That's an inch in diameter or larger hail. I will be back to go over the timing on when you can expect these storms to arrive in your neighborhood in just a few minutes. Kirsten?
Thank you, Chris. Well, today, the owner of the Spokane Indians showed his support for Spokane Public Schools and the City of Spokane's Parks and Recreation Department's plan to put at least one all-weather field in every neighborhood.
It's all part of their $440 million Together Spokane plan. According to the proposal, the play fields at North Central could get an upgrade. Not only do all-weather fields offer more off-season use, they're also cheaper to maintain and require less water. The plan also calls for more lights to be installed, which would allow for more nighttime activities. That's especially useful in the late fall and early spring when the sun sets around 4:30.
It doesn't matter whether it's a volleyball or basketball or baseball and softball, those programs have just skyrocketed, but the fields have stayed the same. And so we need to make the days longer with our field conditions.
The athletic fields at Harmon Park, Ferris and Rogers High Schools, and Hartfield could also be upgraded.
And like we mentioned, this is just one of the more than 200 citywide projects that would be funded by the Together Spokane project. The plan is contingent on voters approving 2 separate measures this November. We're talking about a $240 million levy being proposed by the Parks and Rec Department and a $200 million bond from the Spokane Public Schools. You can take out your phone now and scan this QR code with your camera. It'll take you to our website where you can find links on how to see how this plan would impact your property taxes if it's approved.
Well, Coug fans won't have to go far to see the new-look football team and new head coach Jimmy Rogers in action this weekend. Here's a live look at One Spokane Stadium, where WSU will be hosting an open practice on Saturday morning. That's actually the Pavilion. It's their first practice in Spokane under Rogers. He came from South Dakota State, replacing Jake Dickert, who took the head coaching job at Wake Forest. The open team practice is from 9 to 11 a.m. There will also be a football clinic immediately after for kids in grades K through 8. It costs just $10 per player, with proceeds supporting Spokane Middle School tackle football. You can find the link to register for the kids clinic right now. Just find the story on our website, KXOY.com. Pretty cool deal. All right, Spokane Chiefs return to the postseason, and this run is sparked by 45 regular season wins.
Yeah, the Chiefs will start on the road because of the NCAA Women's Tournament games at Spokane Arena.
So it's off to Vancouver for the Chiefs, and hear how the players prepare for the road playoff games coming up.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Consign Furniture.
Oh my God, what happened?
I shot him.
Do you know what's going on right now?
You don't think I'm gonna spend the rest of my life thinking about this? I'm so sorry.
Special Agent Trent, you could go to jail.
New York Trent, tonight on ABC.
Life moves fast, and we get it. You're busy. Our digital banking can change how you manage your money. Whether you're chatting with a representative after hours, depositing a check from your phone, or meeting with us face-to-face. Wherever life takes you, we've got you covered. It's your money. Access it anytime, anywhere. Open your account at p1fcu.org. P1FCU, your community, your credit union.
Let's take a flight to Flight 509 Family Fun Center in the Spokane Valley. Get lost in 22,000 square feet of adventure for the whole family. Climbing, spinning, battling, striking, leaping, launching, exploring, invading, celebrating, and so much more. No, doggy. At Flight 509, fun really does take flight.
For March only, buy one window or door and get the second 40% off. Plus, get an additional $750 off your entire project. Schedule your complimentary consultation. Call Renewal by Anderson today.
Bill's Heating would like to congratulate Dino Scarpa on winning 2 tickets to the WCC tournament in Vegas.
Hey, Ben, I make this shot. You have to take me with you to Vegas. Deal?
All right, fine. But you got one shot.
Watch and learn. Okay. All right, 2 out of 3.
Every woman will experience menopause, but when it happens, will you be prepared? Join Halle Berry, Leanne Morgan, Maria Shriver, Naomi Watts.
We were getting down to business, and I remembered that I had my estrogen patch on.
As we reveal the liberating truth about the change.
What if, when a woman realized she was in menopause, you get a siesta?
I love it.
And you get a siesta.
And you get a siesta. An Oprah Winfrey special, The Menopause Revolution, Monday on ABC.
We are continuing to follow that breaking news. Police are searching for an 8-year-old girl who was abducted in Spokane Valley.
Yeah, here's a photo of Lariah Kinsey. She is said to be wearing tan jeans with a white shirt with Jesus written in cursive. Investigators say she was taken near East 4th Street, a few blocks west of Thierman. Our Hunter Bertram is live at the scene now. Hunter, what do we know so far?
Yeah, hey, Derek and Kirsten, we are at the spot of where it's suspected Lariah Kinsey has been abducted from with her father, Reginald Kinsey. What we do know is that Child Protective Services have been involved with this family for some time, and court documents show that someone in their household filed a protection order accusing Reginald Kinsey of assaulting her. That in that order that was granted on the 27th of January, it ordered him to stay away from Lariah and his other daughter. Here, we'll bring back that Amber Alert just so you know what to look for right now. And the woman who filed that order said in court documents as well on March 14th, he showed up at the apartment complex we're at right now with binoculars and said he was trying to see his kids. Police responded, but he was gone. That woman who reported it had that interaction on his phone. It's also reported that 4 days ago, he violated that protection order. Now, what you should be on the lookout for is a white 2000s old van with a license plate CJX 7142. And that's really just what we're getting in the recent, about hours since that Amber Alert went out to the community. Right now on scene, not much is going on. There's no police activity here looking for Lariah, but this is really all we have right now for information on what's going on in this child abduction. Kirsten, Derek.
Live for us in Spokane Valley. Thank you, Hunter. Again, this is a developing story. We will update you just as soon as we learn more.
All right, let's send it now over to Jack Wallace with a look at sports.
Spokane Chiefs wrapping up their regular season with an incredible 45 wins. That's their most since the 2010-11 season. So now we move over to the playoffs. Chiefs entering as the number 3 seed, but they got to play on the road to start off. Spokane traveling to the Vancouver Giants due to the NCAA tournament games hosted at the arena this weekend. So they have to face a pretty tough road playoff environment early on. but it's one they're pretty used to in Langley. The Chiefs beat them a combined 10-3 in the 2 games on their ice this season, and the players spoke to us ahead of that big matchup today, well aware their road success could be a massive boost to help carry them into a tough postseason stretch.
Get acclimated as quick as possible. Maybe do what you can to get engaged, get in the game early, and once we kind of get our footing, I think we'll be all right. It's just kind of going in a new environment. Obviously, they're going to have a good crowd, and they're really good at home as well. But if we play our game and play our systems, we'll be all right.
Things are going to happen that you don't always want to go your way. We'd like to be at home, but getting to go there, play 2 games, then having a chance to close it out here at home with those 3 games, we could look at that as a positive.
So those 3 games at home back at Spokane Arena starting at 7:05 p.m. next Wednesday. And you won't need to wait too long to watch the Chiefs. Game 1 at the Vancouver Giants without Andrew's extra tooth is this Friday night at 7 p.m. Now, no one can escape the new college sports landscape with the transfer portal dominating. Almost 20% of all men's college hoops athletes have already entered the portal. It's been open 1 day, and that includes Washington State's Isaiah Watts and leading scorer Nate Calmise. But today, for the first time, we hear head coach David Riley's thoughts on these players leaving and what the program can do moving forward with still a game to play next week.
It's a new day and age of college basketball. There's some opportunities out there for all these guys, and we got to have those conversations. And each of those guys did a lot for this program. Love the hell out of them, and excited for their future. It's just kind of the world we live in now.
Wazoo's roster next season now will rely on their deep redshirt sophomore, regular sophomores, and freshman classes. 9 of the 12 remaining players on the roster right now underclassmen. Cougs get one more shot to keep on playing. That's up against the Georgetown Hoyas in the upcoming college basketball crown tournament down in Las Vegas, Nevada. Cougs' 3rd separate trip to Vegas this season. And you can hear more about how this team looks ahead to this visit to Sin City on 4 News Now Nightside. 2025-26 Gonzaga men's basketball roster is already looking quite different with seniors, of course, Ryan Nimhart, Nolan Hickman, Ben Gregg, plenty more all departing. But junior Jun Seok-Yo follows Dusty Stromer into the transfer portal today. The Seoul, South Korea native played as a reserve this season, scoring a season-high 8 points against UMass Lowell. Yvonne Ejim keeps raking in awards. It's just so many for this legendary player. Today, earning a finalist nod for the WBCA Coaches All-America team. She's one of 50 finalists this season, earning an honorable mention from them last year. Ejim has helped lead the Zags to a WBIT quarterfinal matchup. That's against the Minnesota Golden Gophers this Thursday evening. Lots of movement in college basketball in this day and age. Very curious to see who the Zags and Cougs can scoop up for next season, which that will be both programs' final in the WCC.
It's kind of exhausting, the constant roster change we see in college athletics
it's the
this
Wild
year.
West.
But like David Riley said, it's the world we live in now.
Yeah, it's different now.
All right, Jack, thank you.
Chris?
Your Wednesday planner, it is a 4 News Now weather alert day because of the threat of severe thunderstorms or strong thunderstorms tomorrow evening. Other than that, look for partly to mostly sunny skies, a high of 74. I'll talk more about the threat these thunderstorms pose after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
I'm Chad Young from theeasyhomebuyer.com, Spokane and Coeur d'Alene's easiest way to sell your house fast. If you have a few moments, I hope you'll give me the opportunity to make you an instant cash offer on your home. With theeasyhomebuyer.com, we will buy your house in as-is condition with no repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. To get your no-obligation cash offer, give us a call or visit us online at theeasyhomebuyer.com.
Pick up the phone to inquire. Call the Easy Home Buyer.
Bad back? Get Good Feet with the personalized arch support system from the Good Feet store. Clinically proven to provide significant pain relief in only 4 weeks. Good Feet, good life. The Good Feet store. Book your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
Hot tubs, hot tubs, hot tubs. The Hot Tub Swim Spa Expo is at all 4 Pool World locations this weekend only. Hundreds of hot tubs from the world's leading brands like Hot Spring Hot Tubs, all discounted. Hot tubs as low as $79 a month. 0% financing, save thousands. Swim spas up to $10,000 off. Above ground pools as low as $56 a month. Saunas as low as $79 a month. Hot tubs, swim spas, above ground pools, and saunas up to 30% off. This weekend at all 4 Pool World locations. HotTubExpoSpokane.com.
People from North Idaho are built for long, snowy winters.
And so are the Subarus they drive.
With symmetrical all-wheel drive, every Subaru handles winter's toughest challenges with ease. No matter how harsh the weather gets, your Subaru stays in control.
Add heated seats and advanced safety features, and you're ready for anything winter brings.
Celebrate the Subaru A Lot to Love event now through March 31st at Parker Subaru in beautiful Coeur d'Alene.
I'm Mark Peterson, the Extreme Team and Horizon Credit Union, ready to take on our next job. If you know of a project that needs an Extreme Team makeover, go to KXLY.com to nominate it. Our thanks to Horizon Credit Union for sponsoring the 4 News Now Extreme Team.
Celebrate 30 years of winning at the Kootenai Casino with exciting promotions including daily hot spins, a special St. Patrick's Day drawing, and anniversary cash and bonus play giveaways. Ready to get away this March? Stay Sunday through Thursday at the Kootenai Falls Lodge for just $59 per night, or a Riverview room for $79 and get a free $30 Kootenai credit included. Come stay and win at the inn. Call 888-YOU-ARE-LUCKY or visit KootenaiRiverInn.com.
Sign up for the 4 News Now Daily Local at KXLY.com.
Wednesday is a weather alert day. Now, most of the day is going to be a spectacular spring day with record high temperatures. But as we get into 6 o'clock, between 6 o'clock and 1 a.m., we do have the threat of thunderstorms, and some of those storms could be strong or severe. The threat is over the entire inland northwest. A much greater threat west of the Cascades from just north of Seattle through just south of Eugene, Oregon. Now, the greatest threat with these storms, potential for damaging winds and large hail. And you'll notice possible, not likely. There's not a high chance. It is just possible, but we really want to make sure that you're not in the midst of enjoying a beautiful spring-like evening and are taken off guard. Great time to download the First Alert weather app so you have that with you tomorrow to track the weather to your specific location. When we talk about severe hail, we're talking about an inch or bigger, and that's really what we're thinking about for tomorrow. These storms have the potential to create hail as large as an inch. Obviously, it gets quite a bit larger than that. An inch in diameter is quarter-size hail. Ping pong ball size hail, not in the cards. That's an inch and a half. We're up to golf ball size hail with an inch and 3/4. It gets larger. Tennis ball, baseball, softball size hail, 4-inch in diameter. We do not get that here. Nickel is non-severe. So again, up to an inch in diameter as these storms begin moving through as early as 7, 8 o'clock, especially west of the Spokane area. Best chance in Spokane comes a little bit later, 10, 11, and then by the time we're into midnight, those storms really start moving out of the region, and we'll be left with some showers and the potential for a little bit of afternoon thunderstorm activity on Thursday and again on Friday. Any storms we get on Thursday and Friday will be weaker compared to tomorrow. Again, a weather alert day, a record high of 74. Our record for tomorrow is 67. Derek.
Yeah, it could be a wild weather day. All right, Chris, thank you. Hearings began in Olympia this afternoon on the budget proposals from House and Senate Democrats, which spend close to $80 billion over the next 2 years.
Murrow News fellow Albert James shows us how the plans are being received on the other side of the aisle and what some special interest groups think about the key aspects of these proposals.
It is an awfully troubling direction that the House and Senate majorities would take us in.
Legislative Republicans are staking out strong opposition to the budget proposals made by Democrats in the House and Senate Monday. Democrats are looking to spend close to $80 billion over the next 2 years. While they say they've made some cuts to close a projected multi-billion-dollar deficit, they argue new taxes on the wealthy and raising the cap on property taxes are necessary to maintain crucial state services.
Some will say that we cannot afford to continue recent investments in Washington and Washingtonians. We say that we cannot afford not to continue those investments.
But Republicans argue the proposals go beyond wealthy people and businesses.
These taxes are going to be a disaster for businesses and individual Washingtonians alike, and make surviving in Washington, whether you're an individual, a family, or a business, extraordinarily hard.
The Association of Washington Business agrees. They believe the state is spending too much money with little result, and the proposed taxes will stifle business growth and job creation.
This is a
innovative state, we need to get back to creating more opportunities and attracting businesses to come here rather than push them away.
On education, while they were disappointed in cuts to colleges and universities, the Washington Education Association says they welcome increased funding for K-12 materials and operating costs in special education.
This increased funding makes a difference for most marginalized students. It provides additional resources, and it also provides relief for school districts who are struggling financially as well.
Legislative Republicans took issue with the amount of funding provided to create a police hiring grant program highlighted as a priority by Governor Ferguson. House Democrats gave $50 million over 4 years, while Senate Democrats didn't include any funding in their budget.
Right now, the Democrats are falling significantly short of even the governor's request on that matter. And who knows, maybe he will follow through with his word and veto either of those budgets for not including that $100 million.
Both budget proposals are set to be voted at a committee on Thursday. The Senate proposal is currently slated for a floor vote on Saturday, while the full House will vote on their proposal next Monday. At the state capitol in Olympia, I'm Albert James reporting.
An update now to that breaking news we've been following for you through this newscast. Police searching for an 8-year-old girl who was abducted in Spokane Valley.
Our Hunter Bertram is live at the scene where she was abducted. And Hunter, we understand we have some good news in this case now.
Yeah, breaking news, Derek and Kirsten. I was speaking with the aunt of that 8-year-old who was abducted earlier. As we were talking moments after our interview, she got a call from Washington State Patrol who told her that the girl was found. They were found in the STA Plaza in downtown Spokane. Reginald is in custody, the 4-year-old man who is suspected to have abducted her in custody. Again, like I said, that 8-year-old girl is found. I was speaking with her aunt. I listened to the voicemail, and we were able to corroborate that it is her aunt through court documents. Once again, that 8-year-old was found in downtown Spokane at the STA Plaza and is safe. Derek and Kirsten.
All right, Hunter, thank you for that update.
Send it over now to Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker with a look at your weather.
Well, I wanted to show you our high temperatures today. Starting off 70 degrees today in Spokane. It is the first time we have hit 70 since the 20th of October. So more than 5 months. It's been a while. 71 in Pullman. We did have a record-breaking 79 in Lewiston. It's going to be even warmer tomorrow, but the big news potentially tomorrow is the possibility of some strong or severe thunderstorms across the inland Northwest. Sometime between about 6 o'clock in the evening and 1 in the morning, the storms capable of producing up to inch in diameter hail as well as gusty winds. Your planning forecast, meanwhile, tomorrow, a weather alert day. Most of the day is going to be beautiful. It's really going to be after work in the dinner hour where that threat begins to creep over the Cascades into Spokane and Coeur d'Alene later in the evening. There is a chance of some thunderstorms Thursday and Friday as well. Kirsten?
Chris, thank you. Well, the family of a University of Washington lab technician is fighting to get her out of ICE custody.
She's been in the country legally for decades, but now faces deportation following a trip to the Philippines. King 5's Sharon Yu explains.
Llewellyn Dixon's flight home to the Philippines was supposed to be routine.
She flew to the Philippines last year, and we actually flew to Turkey as well. No problem.
Lonnie Madriaga is Dixon's niece. She says her sister was with Dixon at SeaTac last month when they returned home.
She waited an hour, and then 2 hours passed by, 3 hours passed by, and we're like, whoa, something is wrong.
Eventually, they got a call. Dixon was detained at the Northwest ICE processing facility in Tacoma. Alex Reby is an immigration attorney with the firm representing Dixon. Reby says what's happening to Dixon isn't illegal, but would have been considered highly unusual in previous administrations.
The law hasn't changed, but the implementation of if somebody's deportable, we will issue them a notice to appear. And if we can detain them, we will detain them. I think that has certainly been the case in what we've been seeing.
The tripping point? A 2001 conviction in a bank embezzlement case, a nonviolent misdemeanor charge for someone who has lived here for 50 years. Dixon came to the United States at the age of 14 in 1974.
It's the removal proceedings, but it's really the detention that's the harder pill to swallow, because otherwise she could have just applied for relief from removal for which she's eligible on a non-detained setting.
Dixon didn't have issues traveling and returning before. Madriaga says, had she known about the 2001 conviction,
there is no way I would have allowed her to fly.
And that was Sharon Yu reporting. Just another quick update. 8-year-old Lariah Kinsey, who reported, you probably got the Amber Alert on your phone not too long ago, was found safe with her father, who abducted her at the STA Plaza downtown.
And we will have much more for you tonight on Nightside, including the weather alert day on the way. We'll see you at 11.